Blind SQL injection is a type of SQL injection attack that asks the database true or false questions and determines the answer based on application response. This attack is often used when the web application is configured to show generic error messages, but has not mitigated the code that is vulnerable to SQL injection. When an attacker exploits SQL injection, sometimes the web application displays error message from the database complaining that the SQL query syntax is incorrect. Blind SQL injection is nearly identical to normal SQL injection. The only difference is being the way the data is retrieved from the database. When the database does not output data to the web page, an attacker is forced to steal data by asking the database series of true or false questions. This makes the exploiting the SQL injection more difficult but not impossible. Let's take an example here. We have made small code which is written in, of course, the PHP. It's dealing with the database. So let's check if the current page is vulnerable for SQL injection attacks or not by adding simply single quote after one. So after adding the single quote, we got the page as a blank. This is the totally blank page. Now let's try some true or false statement here, and 1 is equal to 1, and hit enter. As you can see here, the statement is true, 1 equal to 1, the page gets loaded normally. Now let's try to change something over here. 1 is equal to, let's say, 3. The condition is false, which means that the page is not loaded normally. Some information from here is missing. This means that the target is vulnerable for blind SQL injection. Now the next step is exploit it. Let's check the database version first. So to check the database version, I will use the SQL query, which is substring. I will use here substring at version 1,1 equal to, let's say, 4, and hit enter. As you can see here, again the result is blank, which means that the database version is greater than 4. Let's try to increase this count as a 5. So when we change this from 4 to 5, the page gets loaded normally. You can see here result, which means that the current version of database is 5. So now moving to the next part, getting the table's name. So this is the blind SQL injection. We need to guess the table. So how we do that, right? We will be putting like, let's change this to select one from users, limits 0, 0, 1. The query says that we are checking if there is any table with name users. Let's hit enter. So the page is loaded normally, which means that there is a table name users present in the whole database. Let me change it to something else. Let's say ABC. When I hit enter, you can see here the blank page, which means that the ABC table is not present in the database. So I will change this to, let's say, admin, and hit enter. As the page gets loaded normally, though there is an admin table present in the database. So we got our table name as an admin. Now at this stage we are lucky enough to find the table name directly, but if you are unlucky, you need to guess more. The example of normal tables are members, TBL underscore admin, TBL admin administrator, TBL users, or whatever you can guess. Just give it try to add here table name. So at this stage we got our table name as admin. So next step we have to guess the columns. Again the same procedure. We have to use now select space substring. So our the final query is and select substring bracket concat 1 comma username comma 1 comma 1 from admin limit 0 comma 1 equal to 1. Here I am asking database that do you have column username in table admin, and when I hit enter you can see here the page loaded normally, which means that the admin have username column. So now we got everything set up here. We got our table name as admin and column name as a username. Now let's try to fetch some information from column username. Again, we need to guess the letters here. This is the quite interesting as well as boring part. We need to use the ASCII character. So let's start. I will simply use the ASCII and hit enter. Now we have to use the ASCII table. You can go to the asciitable.com. You can find the all ASCII tables here. Here the decimal number and here the characters. So here I am asking the database that if there is a first character is ASCII number 96, that ASCII number 96 have character single quote. So when I hit enter, the result gets false. So let's try to increase that to 97. So on the 97 we got an page is loaded normally, which means that on the 97 the character is A. So we got our first character as A. I will put here A. So now it's time to, so we got our first character. It's time to move on and find the second character. You can simply change to it here, and again let's hit enter. Not 97, let's again 100. So on the 100 we got the low page is loaded normally. So let's check the value of the 100. The value of the 100 is D. So we got our second character as a D. Now let's move on to the third character. Yeah, third. Let's try to 101, no, 103, 104, 105, nothing, 110. Let's try to directly check here. Let's try some 109. So on the 109 the page is loaded normally. So 109 has yum. So we got our third character as a d yum. So I knew that the first username is admin. So let's directly check as for character I. So character I has a 105. Let's try to load as a 105. Sorry. ADMIN. Let's add a fourth character here. So on the fourth page loaded normally. So we got our fourth character ADMI, and on the N last is 1. What's that? It is 10. So we got our last character as a N. Now we successfully fetched the information from column username. So we got our username as an admin. So this is the how we can exploit the blind SQL injection. So on the next video I will show you how to find header based SQL injection and how to exploit it.